Well, this STAR-TRON engine fuel treatment is really good stuff, not just for preserving the gasoline more long term, which I found out it does work pretty damn good for that. I was pretty impressed because my Coleman generator, portable generator, gasoline one with the Vanguard motor in it, there's one part on the carburetor that used to get clogged up all the time. When I use this stuff, that part in the carburetor where I got to take the bowl out and put a little needle up there to clear where the passage is because it gets gummed up, that doesn't happen with this stuff anymore. So, but I've also found out it's really good for cleaning out the entire fuel system. I have not put it in this Chevy recently because I just did the camshaft and the carburetor and all that type of stuff like on this one. This is the older El Camino. This thing runs great, but if I just took it out in a 60-mile trip the other day. Ran good. First time I took it out some kind of distance. But if I have any kind of problem with the carburetor getting gummed up or anything like that, I'm going to run this stuff versus using like Seafoam or even Berryman B12, I think it is. It's called B4 or B12 Berryman. But I put it in that car. That car was stumbling a little bit. Maybe the fuel injectors were getting a little bit dirty. I put some of this stuff in it, and I probably put quite a bit in there because I think that's like maybe a 14-gallon tank. So one fuel fluid ounces is 16 gallons. I put about 3 ounces in it, so I put about triple. But it smoothed out the idle quite a bit, and I don't have any problems with it stalling. So that's another advantage of this stuff. It's not just for getting water in the gas. I know this thing works by, now it's got a limit to how much water can get in the gasoline. If you put a cup of water in the gasoline, a full cup of water, even like 3 ounces of water in gasoline, ethanol, the type that's 10% ethanol, this is not going to overcome it. This overcomes like minor droplets. It's got a limit to how much it's going to do. But most of the time, well, whenever you put gasoline in a car, especially when it's only half full, the tank is half full, the other half of the tank has air in it. The air always has some moisture, humidity. Or anytime gasoline cap is vented, which you can have a vented gasoline cap on a lawnmower, snowblower, or any kind of small engine, or even like a motorcycle. That's when this stuff comes in handy, because the fact that the gasoline is vented to the ambient air is going to have a little bit of humidity in it. This is not going to overcome serious water in your tank. Even if you had like 4 ounces or something, it's not going to really do that. But it does enough whereby the ethanol, which actually picks up more of the water from the ambient air than regular gasoline used to be. Like if you had true 100% gasoline, that really wasn't a problem. It's when they started adding the 10% ethanol. The ethanol is what actually picks up the water from the ambient air, and that's what causes the gumming in the fuel system. But this stuff is not just work to prevent the gumming from happening or the gas from getting gelled up from humidity getting into, minor water getting into the gas, but it also helps really clean out the fuel system. I think this stuff actually works better than like a Seafoam or Gum Out or whatever, Chevron, Techron, fuel injector cleaner. I think this stuff even works better. And I'm definitely going to put some of this in my motorcycle because that has the gas cap on that is vented. As a matter of fact, I don't like filling it up all the way because it'll pour out the gas tap when you're taking off hard and get on your leg, which is, you don't want to have it too full. But that's a vented gas cap. That's one instance where it's good to run this stuff. And sometimes you get a little minor gumming up in the carburetor. This stuff really does the job, man. It's amazing. It's not the expense. It's this is like $30-something for the whole bottle. But considering that, even if you used it triple strength, what are you talking? 100. What is it? 150 gallons would be 450 gallons. So I don't know. It's like 165. This would treat, even if you're using a triple strength, this would treat about 165 gallons. I found out it really does do a better job with cleaning when you're mixing it with more than what they tell you. You know, they'll tell you 1 fluid ounce per 16 gallons. And I don't run this stuff all the time, just every once in a while, because that makes it really cheap. So if you run it every once in a while and you got, you know, here you're saying that's 32 treatments in here because you got 32 ounces for $30, so it runs you about maybe $1 treatment. But say you run a triple treatment, it only runs you, you know, a triple strength treatment, it'll run you $3 a treatment. It still isn't that cheaper than most of the time when you're buying, like, you know, Seafoam or Chevron Techron or some of the other additives they put in there, or gum out fuel injector cleaner. It's still cheaper. And I think it works better because I think I've noticed this. I've noticed this several times. I've been messing around with this stuff for a while. I just had to get some more of it because I finally ran out of, you know, the big bottle of it. I cleaned out the lawnmower with it before. The plugs were really bad, and the oil rings, control rings were like not working that well. It worked on that thing. A couple times before I changed the plugs on this, I cleaned up the plugs with this stuff. I did use it on the El Camino before when I had the other carburetor on. I had the Holley 500 CFM, what was it, Barry Grand Demon 2-barrel. Before I put the cam in and stuff, I used it on the El Camino. And it really did clean it up. And just recently, I used it on that blue Chevy out there, the little Cavalier, and it smoothed out the idle. You know, it's because it stalled out on me a couple times. The first time the car ever stalled out on me. And, you know, all the years I've had that thing. But when I put this stuff in it, triple strength, like I put 3 ounces in a little tank, it really cleaned it up. So this thing is not, to me, this is not just for, you know, maybe, you know, it does say that, cleans fuel system and more. You know? I mean, but, you know, you're not thinking of this stuff as, well, here you go. Initial dose, one fluid ounces for every 8 gallons. So I put in, I probably put in like 1 fluid ounce for every 4 gallons the first that dosage. But it really did clean the stuff up. Plus, it's made in USA, so I'm supporting USA people. It's just that you will not find this stuff. I don't find it in any, like, you know, the retail outlets. I don't find it anywhere. It's like you got to order it online. That's the one thing. You know, maybe it's available in a place where the boats are, you know, the boats on the marinas or something, because, you know, typically that's a problem with, you know, the gas cap that might be vented. You know, water can really be a problem. You know, they really don't sell ethanol fuel, though, in the boat docks, so it's maybe not as much a problem. But I don't know where you find this stuff except online. And that's one of the things. Actually, when you order this, a lot of times you can get free shipping on it. And, you know, this big bottle, basically, if you're doing a triple strength, it's like having 10 bottles of, you know, Seafoam gum out or whatever the heck it is, or Chevron Techron fuel injector cleaner, or Prestone fuel injector cleaner, whatever they got. So this one bottle will do a lot, even if you're doing a, you know, a triple strength dose. But since I've been testing it now and I have tried, what is that other stuff? I forgot. Was it PRI-G? That's what it's called, PRI-G. I forgot what the heck the acronym stands for, which is a very good fuel additive. I also tried Stable 360, but this stuff seems to like clean better. The other products seem to like really work for preserving the fuel. This seems to work for just not preserving the fuel, but also cleaning out the entire fuel system. And it seems to work better than the products that are designed specifically only to clean out the fuel system. This stuff actually seems to work better than that. So, you know, keeping a lot of this junk on hand, so pretty good. You know, just figured I'd pass on this tip because I've been messing around. I got a bunch of, I got 4 cars, a motorcycle, and, you know, some small engine stuff, and plus generators, plus, you know, a couple lawnmowers. I got enough stuff I tested it on over the last couple years, so figured I'd pass this on. It's not just for freaking preserving the fuel. It really does clean out the fuel system better than a lot of products that are specifically only designed to clean out fuel systems, provided you put it in about triple strength. But again, you know, even at triple strength, this is more economical to use. And it's also made in USA.